Welcome students for Chemistry in Everyday Life Part 4th. In this video we shall study about chemistry in medicine, that is antimicrobials, antiseptics, disinfectants, anti-fertility drugs, antacids and antihistamines. And students, we shall study about chemistry in food products, food preservatives. Let us first continue with antiseptics, the drugs which are applied to living tissues to kill the bacteria and stop their growth in wound, preventing its infection, are called as antiseptics. And students, here are some of the examples which we use in our day-to-day life antiseptics. Let us consider one example. Phenol, first widely used as antiseptic because students, it causes severe burns and hence other phenolic compounds are used. They are used for dressing of small wounds. If any small injuries are there, then phenolic derivatives can be used as an antiseptic. As phenol would be causing the severe burn, direct phenol is not used. Next students is the Dettol, which is a combination of chloroxyinol and terpenol. Let's see the structure of terpenol with the molecular formulae C10H18O, whereas chloroxyinol structure with the molecular formula C8H9ClO, which are used in antiseptic creams. And even student, Dettols can be used for disinfecting the surgical instrument, that is the microorganisms which are adhering to the surgical instruments used in operations. It can be disinfected from microorganisms by using Dettol. And students, Dettol is a poisonous and must not be consumed orally. Only we can use the Dettol for killing the microorganism externally or for the injured parts of our body, but must not be consumed. Moving to the next one, Bithional. It is a bacteriostatic agent. Means student, this would be inhibiting the bacteria, that is the growth of bacteria. It can be used as an agricultural fungicide for killing the fungal strains, and even used as anti-infective in deodorants, shampoos and surgical soaps. And students, Bithional is not used in case of cosmetics due to the skin allergy when exposed to sunlight. And the next one is the iodine. Tincture of iodine is used as topical antiseptic to kill bacteria. It is used in cleansing of wounds. The injured parts of our body can be cleaned by addition of iodine. Even student, iodine is used for sterilizing skin before any surgery. And the next one is iodoform, which is used as an external antiseptic for wounds or else injured body parts. And students, boric acid, which is a white amorphous compound, it also acts as a mild antiseptic, which is normally used by swimmers as ear drop for destroying the fungal growth. It can even be used to eye wash. The bacteria which are growing in the eyeball, it can be washed away by boric acid, aqueous solution, and even boric acid can act as a food preservative, destroying the growth of microorganism fungus from food grains. And the next one, student, antiseptic is hydrogen peroxide with a molecular formula H2O2. It is also a mild antiseptic, normally used for cleaning ears and used for sterilizing surgical instruments, and in some cases for treating skin spots, killing fungus and dental hygiene, and even for avoiding the contagious diseases, the diseases which are transferred from patient towards the healthy person can be prevented by using of hydrogen peroxide. Next, students, we shall study about disinfectants. Let us understand the meaning. Disinfectants are applied to non-living objects to kill the microorganisms. So antiseptics are used for killing the microorganisms but applied on living cells, whereas, student, disinfectants are the material or compounds which are applied on non-living objects so as to kill the microorganisms. Disinfectants can be used in public health sanitations, floors, to sterilize the instruments, etc. And in the diagram, student, you can observe day-to-day life we are using the disinfectant. Next, students, we shall study about anti-fertility drugs. The drugs which are used to control the population by means of family planning is called as anti-fertility drugs. Examples for anti-fertility drugs: the first one, students, estrogen, and the second one as a progesterone, which are normally synthesized in the body, but a mixture of synthetic estrogens and the progesterone derivatives which are synthesized in the lab, they act as anti-fertility drugs. Let us first study about synthetic estrogen derivative. The structure of estrogen which is given, and in this case, students, we are replacing one of the hydrogen from this 5-membered ring by means of C triple bond CH. It forms the estrogen derivative with the molecular formula C20H24O2, and the name of the derivative is noversterol. Second example, synthetic progesterone derivative. Let us first consider the structure of progesterone. In this case, student, CH3C double bond O, that is acetyl group from this 5-membered ring, is replaced by the OH group, that is hydroxyl group. Then it forms the derivative of the progesterone compound. It is called as norethindrone with the molecular formula C20H26O2. Then, students, let us study about antacids, which would be neutralizing the pH level. So let us see the definition first of the antacids. Antacid is a base which neutralizes excess of acid secreted in the stomach during digestion of food. For example, sodium bicarbonate or even, student, metallic hydroxides of magnesium and aluminium. That is magnesium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide. So all these three compounds can neutralize the acidic pH of the stomach and are called as antacids. So antacids control the symptoms and not the cause. That is, it is neutralizing the acidic pH of the stomach, but student, the cause for acidic pH is not cured by consumption of antacids. Moving to the next one is the histamines. Histamine is an organic nitrogen compound involved in local immune responses as well as regulating physiological function in the gut and acting as a neurotransmitter. So students, histamine is having three important roles. The first one is it regulates the body immune responses, that is defense mechanism against the pathogens. Second point is various physiological activities which are happening in the gut. For example, it is the digestive system. All the physiological changes would be controlled by histamine, and even student transmitting of impulses. It acts as a neurotransmitter. One of the example which has been given is imidazole derivative. Next students, we shall study about antihistamines. Antihistamines prevent the interaction between histamine and receptors in the stomach wall and hence decreases the secretion of the acid. So students, we are consuming antihistamines so as to decrease the secretion of the acid by interacting with the receptor sites in the stomach wall, that is the abdominal wall. One of the examples, student, which we commonly consume in our day-to-day life when the acidic problem would be there, it is Zintac, which is also called as ranitidine, with a molecular formula C13H22N4O3S. And the second example for antihistamine is cimetidine with a molecular formula C10H16N6S. And the third example is Seldane with a molecular formula C32H41NO2. Now students, let us study about chemicals in food products. Certain of the chemicals can be used for food preservation, and students, some chemicals act as artificial sweetening agents, and even some act as antioxidants in the food. Let us first discuss about various food preservatives. Preservative is a substance which when added to food is capable of inhibiting, retarding or completely arresting the process of fermentation or acidification or even decomposition of the foodstuff by growth of microbes. It can be bacteria, it can be fungi or the viruses. Thus student, food preservative compounds increases the life of the food items. Preservation of the food, which can be done in two different methods. The first one is physical method and the second one is the chemical method. Let us first discuss about physical methods. By removing of heat, that is cooling of the food items. Example, fresh fruits, vegetables, meat and even fish can be preserved for longer duration by placing in refrigerator in which we are maintaining the cold condition. So students, cooling lowers the temperature which prevents the growth of microbes. Second, by addition of heat. In this student, it can be done by stationary or else continuously agitating. And the next one is pasteurization of milk, which kills the bacteria. Sterilization can even kill the microbes. So heating kills the microbes and hence we get disinfectant food materials. Canning or heat processing can even bring about the sterilization of food items. Next, by removal of water, which is called as dehydration. So students, dehydration can be achieved by sun drying. Placing the food item in the bright sunlight, so all the moisture, that is water content, would be removed from the food item and hence it would be free of microbes. Second, freeze drying, maintaining extremely low condition so that liquid water is removed. And the next one is puff drying, which is done in machines to remove the water from the food items. So students, drying prohibits the growth of microorganisms. If we remove the water, then growth of microorganisms won't occur. And the fourth one is by irradiation. Ultraviolet or ionizing radiation is used, which would be killing all the bacteria. But students, radiations should not induce radioactivity in the food or else it can cause adverse effect on the health of an individual. So EMR can be used for irradiation. Now students, let us discuss about chemical methods for preservation of food. And the first one is addition of sugar. Students, adding sugar and applying the heat is the very simple and cost-effective, easy method which can be adopted. In this case, addition of sugar for the food item, students, it causes hypertonic medium. If bacteria are invading on this food item, then plasmolysis of the bacterial cell occurs. As a result, the food item can be preserved for the longer duration. Second, addition of the salt. Students, salting controls the growth of fungus on food item. For example, the pickles can be stored for long duration by the addition of the salt, and even student, the dry fish can be maintained for longer duration by the addition of the salt. In this case, antimicrobial activity which is achieved by osmosis, and to be specific, it is exosmosis which occurs in bacterial or fungal species. And the third one is addition of vinegar. Students, vinegar is nothing but acetic acid. It is also called as sour wine. Normally, we use vinegar in the preparation of pickles and other food items, which increases the shelf life of the food items. Fourth one, addition of other chemicals. The first one, student, salt of sorbic acid. It is a potassium salt of sorbic acid. Sodium benzoate, benzoic acid, if you react with sodium hydroxide, then we get sodium benzoate. And student, salt of propionic acid. It is a sodium salt of propionic acid. So all these chemicals can be used for preservation of the food item. Thank you students. In the next video, we shall study about artificial sweetening agent and antioxidants. Thank you.